Okay, let's go over the structure in expressions worksheet. With this, we're going to go in close so that we're just dealing with the individual assignments or the individual parts. Let's go ahead and start with number 1. The key here, when you're converting words into numbers, the key is that you got to do piece by piece. Remember that there are some key words. Difference means subtraction. Okay, quotient means division. And if you see the words the quantity, it means that it's inside parentheses. Okay, so let's go through and see what we have here. The difference, so right now I know I'm going to do a subtraction problem. I don't know any of the rest, but just subtraction. So I'll put a subtraction sign. The difference of, so when we see the word of, that means now we're in the front part of the equation. So the difference of 5 times a number, n, and, so you see how it says and right there? And is pretty much the equal sign. Okay, you don't have to write and, I'm just writing that there so you can see it. So everything before that goes before the equal sign. Okay, 5 times a number n. So that's just 5 times n. So we have 5n minus, or and, 10. So there we have the difference of 5n minus 10. And that's exactly what it tells us to do here. So that's the answer for number 1. Number 2. 6 more than the quotient of 18 and the number n. Okay, just like before, we don't want to read the whole thing. We just want to start at the beginning. 6 more than. Okay, 6 more than means I'm going to be adding 6 to something. So 6 more than. The quotient. Okay, 6 more than the quotient. So we're going to do a division sign. So I'm going to put a fraction bar right there. So I know what I can put on top and what I can put on bottom. Okay, 6 more than the quotient of 18 and, so that's one side, 18 and a number n. And there's the bottom part. So 6 plus 18 divided by n, or 6 more than the quotient of 18 and the number n. Okay, let's go to number 3. The quotient, again, I'm just going to stop right there. I know that I'm doing a fraction. Okay, quotient means fraction. Of 3 and, there's the word and, so that means the numerator is right there, 3. The denominator, the quantity, tells me it's going to be in parentheses. 3 less than. Now when you say 3 less than, it actually means to put minus 3 at the end of the problem. Let me give you an example. If I have $5 and you have 3 less than me, you would have $2 because that would be 5 minus 3. Okay, so the 3 goes in the end. 3 less than 1/6 of a number x. Of means multiply. Okay, of means to multiply. So we have 3 over 1/6 x minus 3. Now this problem you can do without the parentheses. It's not a problem. But I just like to go with always doing parentheses when it says the quantity, just to give us an idea. Number 4. The difference of 7 times a number x. The difference of, okay, so we're going to the very first part. We read until we get to the word and. 7 times the number x and, so that's right here. Okay, that's the minus sign. So everything before it, 7 times a number x. Well, what's 7 times the number x? That's just 7x and the quotient. So we got another fraction here. So now we're in the second half. We're done with the first. The quotient of that number, and by that number it refers to the x, and 3. And means I'm going to the denominator. So see here we've got two ands. Okay, the first one is for the subtraction, the second one is for the quotient. But that's our answer, 7x minus x over 3, and you're done. Okay, now this one, the sum of 3 consecutive even integers. Even or consecutive means in a row. Even is like 2, 4, 6, and so on. If I want the sum of 3 numbers, I'm going to be adding 3 numbers together. And it says 3 consecutive even integers. Well, which one's my first one? It doesn't say. So that varies. That's my variable, n. Okay? Well, let's just say that this is n right there. How do I get from here to here? I need to add 2. So the second number, see that's the first number, the second number is the first number plus 2. N plus 2. Well, how do I get from the first number to the third number? I would do n plus 4. Okay, and that's how you do the sum of 3 consecutive even integers. Number 5 I did as a class. I did in front of the class. So most of you should have that one. Number 6, convert the following into statements. Okay, there's lots of different ways to write these. I'm just going to write them how I would write them and explain it. And if you did it a different way, that's fine. Okay, with these I just want you to use x and the numbers, so like 6 and 5 and whatever, and just use words for the operations. So I have x divided by, and what's it divided by? It's divided by all of that. So I need to make sure all of that's included. So with that, I understand the quantity I've always said is with parentheses, and this one doesn't. So how do I do it? Okay, I'm going to explain both ways, but here I would put the quantity. And that tells me that it's everything that follows. The quantity 6 times x minus 5. And then I'll be done there. Now, that isn't the only way we can do it. Okay? If I were to do it a different way, okay, if I were to write that a different way, it would still work. Okay? Now, how would it work? What would I do with it? Okay? Let me find some scratch paper here. Another way I could write that, I slid that over. Another way I could write that is the quotient of x and 6 times x, I'm writing off here, minus 5. Okay, both of those would be acceptable, but just try to keep it simple. Try to keep it easy. Okay, number 2. This one, just start at the beginning. 2 plus the quotient of, now I'm at the numerator, 100 and, okay, I'm done with the numerator, so I put the word and to show I'm going to the denominator. So 100 and x, okay, and that's the answer for number 7. Oddly enough, that's also the answer for number 9, so we don't need to do number 9 because it's the same problem. Okay, number 8, 5 plus 1/2 of x. We'll just write it just like you read it. 5 plus 1/2 of x. Okay, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Another way to write that would be 5 plus the quotient 1/2 and then times x or something like that. That one's tricky. Just write that one simple. 5 plus 1/2 of x. Okay. And number 10. This one is confusing for a lot of people. What you need to do is just start reading it. X times the quantity, because we have parentheses, the quantity what's inside the quantity? 5 minus x. Then, now that's important to have that then in. That tells me I'm done with the quantity and I'm moving on. Then add 10 divided by x. And like I said in class, all of these have different answers, okay? Like that last one, I could do something like the quotient 10 and x added to the product of x and the quantity 5 minus x. Now you start getting really hard there. Just keep it as simple as you possibly can and don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Okay, that's the homework for structure and expressions.